Hello lovely people, how are you all doing today? I hope you're well. I am. Oh my goodness, it's been a bit of a busy day, a bit of a mixed eclectic day. Generally I've had a ton of fun. I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. I'm going to do it sitting down though, because I've been stood up for the last half an hour or so doing this job, which I'm going to share the last bit of with you now. And it's just such a gorgeous sunny day. It's one of those days where it's like being in a movie. Everything feels better when it's so sunny. Oh, I loved it. I've been out and about. Right, so this job I'm going to do before we sit down, I'm just potting up my tomatoes. This is the last tray. So I'm putting them into their bigger pots. This is how they're looking otherwise. Now, can you believe it? Do you remember there was a couple of videos back, and I lifted the tray up and I said, oh, they're getting their first true leaves, dead exciting. That was only 10 days ago. They've gone mad. And because they were all these little pots, they were all in one tray, so they've fought a little bit for light. So they've shot up a bit. I mean, I'm not going to call it leggy just yet, but they have shot up. I was going to do this job, I mean, I could have done it 4, 5, 6 days ago, just been too busy. But yeah, it's high time now. And then also they've been in my front window, which is getting scorching hot with these really, it's not just the fact that the temperature outside has gone up, it's the fact that we're having full sunshine again. So full sunshine on that south-facing window of mine, it's getting to like 35 degrees in the window. I came home from the garden the other day and they're all keeled over. So I must get on with looking after these, because the ones I sowed that are in the cold frame, they're not showing yet. So these may be my tomatoes of the year. So also, apart from potting them up today, they now, all their little friends, they're already out there. They've gone onto my landing, which is north facing. I've got a skylight, so there's lots of light for them, but it's much cooler out there. And where I've got the Velux, I'm actually going to set it so that it's open now, so that at night the air will be even cooler. Just starting to get them hardened off, and I'm hoping that they'll sit out there for about 1 week. Excuse me, it's the end of May now. I'm not sure of the date. It's Saturday the 27th of May today. So by next weekend it'll be the 4th of June. What dates are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so next Sunday, for example, it'll be the 4th of June. They'll have had a week on the landing. So then I'll take them to the garden and they can have another week. I don't even know whether they need the cold frame or not. We'll see. Basically what I'm trying to say, my tap's dripping, hang on a sec. Normally, in a normal year, this year isn't, I would have had the tomatoes probably in the cold frame this weekend. And I'd give them a week in the cold frame to harden off, and I'd be planting them out in the garden around about the 5th, 6th, 7th of June, around then. So they're actually only going to be going out 1 week later than usual. So that's okay. And like I said in a previous video, once they go in the ground, once they get their little toes in that soil, they'll go mad. So when the chances are the vast majority of you have already potted your tomatoes on. So what I'm going to show you, yeah, it's potting on. However, the principle applies to if you're planting them in your garden too. So if you've currently got yours in pots and they're hardening, I'm talking about outdoor grown tomatoes, of course. If you've got them in your greenhouse, they'll be away already, no doubt. But yeah, so this principle of planting them deeper when I pot them on, when I come to plant them in the garden, I'll plant them deeper again. So if you've already potted on, don't worry if they're looking a bit leggy. You can do this task when you come to plant them out. And that is, let me show you close up. I don't know if the camera will be able to, if I tip it down like, can you see that sort of, it's almost got like white fuzz on the stem. That's myriad teeny tiny little weeny teeny tiny hairs. all of those hairs have the potential to turn into little roots if they end up below the soil. So when I'm potting them on, with so many plants, when you put them into a new pot, you're going to plant them at the same level. But with tomatoes, what's great is you can plant them deeper. If I had deeper pots, if I had long pots, I'd get it in even deeper. I don't have that, so I'm just going to go right to the bottom of the pot with it, and some of that stem excuse me, will become buried up to about there, so that much underneath, and that can help to form little tiny fibrous roots excuse me. Now when they actually go into the garden, those roots will be really tiny and fibrous, so they won't do much by way of helping to anchor the plant in the soil. So in terms of wind, they will still need staking. But all those extra tiny little roots, it's all more opportunity for the plant to grab some water, to grab some nutrient out of the soil. So it's well worth doing. Every time I go to talk, I get a frog these days. So I'm just going to pot it out of its pot. Let me see if I'm going to have to do this backhandedly. You see, there's nice little roots there. And into the bottom of the pot, and then just backfill it with compost. Bit that side, bit t'other side. I'm going to firm it in good and firm. Tap, tap, tap. Now at the bottom here, you can see these are the seed leaves. These are the first little leaves to appear. How is it? I don't know how it's pronounced. Cotyledon leaves. These aren't the true leaves. They're just the first leaves the seed puts up. Is it okay out here? Oh, it's okay. I'll put my proper leaves up. In time, they will drop off. But for example, when you're putting these in your garden, or if you've got some really lovely long tomato pots to put yours into, you could in fact just pinch those off right now so you can get that plant sunk in even to above where the seed leaves were. But that will do for now. I've got one last one to do. So in total I've got 21 that I've brought on at home. There were 2 per pot. I think that last time you saw them they still all had 2 in, and quite simply I snipped out the weaker looking plant. But in fairness, it's quite hard to choose because none of them looked weak in particular. But yeah, so they were the second one, just with a little pair of scissors, snipping it at soil level so I wasn't tugging at and disturbing any roots. Let them grow on a bit, and now they're at this stage, pot them on, stick them out in the hallway, begins to harden them off, get them for a week, get them to the garden, a week in the cold frame, harden them off, job's a good one. The other thing to say is it's actually outside and it's in the front window at the moment. I've got jugs of water. I try to leave jugs of water out every night, preferably enough for in 2 days' time, so that the tap water can gas off a little bit, so some of that chlorine can evaporate. But also, because it's in the window, that water is warming up ever so slightly, so it's not like freezing cold water from the mains giving them a shock, because it's going to be a bit of a shock for them today, being potted on and put out on the landing. So I want to make sure the water is nice and kind of room temperature at the very least for them. Right, good. So I'm going to get them watered, get them outside, and then let's convene, let's have a sit down, and I can tell you all about this morning, this afternoon, and the fun I've had. Oh, that's better. Nice little sit down. I'm really glad I've got that job of the tomatoes done. That last tray needs to go out. It just makes me feel like, yes, if nothing else, there'll be tomatoes in the garden this year. And because I've only planned 1 bed of them, 16, that means there's going to be 5 spare. So, for example, I'm pretty sure the carrots are doing nothing. I can bung some in the carrot bed. Fab. Getting things done. Crikey, it's got hot though, and I've just closed all the front windows because traffic noise. There's a some kind of job being done just about 20 metres up the road from me. They're digging up the road. Don't know what it's for. It's causing chaos because it's narrowed it's a main road and it's been narrowed to one lane. So they've got the kind of two-way traffic light system, temporary traffic lights. Drivers are getting the hump and they're bibbing their horns and I just think it's summer, chill out. To me, it's summer already. I've definitely got the summer vibe going on. And that was what made my little jaunt this morning and afternoon so perfect. So I did my little kind of, remember I was mentioning the other day I had that, the grout cleaner thing to take back to B&Q, the DIY store. And if I timed it right, I could jump on another bus from there, and get up to Marks and Spencer's and get these blessed vests. Although at the moment it's not vest weather. So the first bus I caught to get to the DIY place, it came straight away and it flew through, thank goodness, considering with the roadworks. Got to B&Q, there was no queue, did my exchange, they put that money back onto the debit card I'd paid with, legged it out of there, moderate pace. And yeah, within a couple of minutes another bus came, so that took me halfway to M&S, have to change, hopped on my third bus of the morning, but it was all within the hour, so it was all charged at one bus fare. Then when I got to the town where M&S is, it's quite a sort of it's a longish high street. So I got off at one end, even though M&S is about halfway. Because I just wanted to just walk through the streets. And I was dead excited because I'd made the decision that today I was going to spend some money. I know. I got a bit excited because I was going to be going clothes shopping. I haven't been clothes shopping. I don't think I've been clothes shopping for a decade, if not more. By clothes shopping, what I mean is when you go out for the day and you go to all sorts of different shops, you don't necessarily have anything specific in mind, but you browse and you see something you like and you pick it and you buy it and you come home with 4 or 5 bags of goodies. That's what I mean by going out shopping. Now, of course, in the last few years, there have been occasional purchases, thermals in winter. Last year I bought 2 different tops, but they were both from charity shops, so they were around about £5 each, totally separate occasions. So I haven't been to a new clothes shop to actually browse and have a look what they've got and think, I can buy that for, it's years and years and years. So I was dead excited. Now, the thing is, I'm always frugal anyway, but I've been super frugal in the last 4 years, but even more so these last 2 years I have been so super duper frugal, in so much as literally any money that comes in, I've been paying my bills and giving myself that tiny allowance for food shopping, and every single penny over and above that has been going into savings. Sometimes it's really hard to think, I just want to spend some of my hard-earned cash, like when I did all the lavender bags and the ones from the previous year. It's a lot of work, and then the money comes in one chunk pretty much, and it's like, it would be so nice to have a treat. But I've got a really, really good goal, and having a really good goal helps me to not spend. And my good goal is, it's my house fund. Everything is going in the house fund at the moment. However, I decided that yes, I actually do need to invest in some clothes, because it's a bit of a shock horror. I'd forgotten at the end of last year that a couple of my tops had completely disintegrated beyond repair. I repair my clothes, of course I do, and I'll repair them numerous times, but there comes a point you just can't repair it anymore. There's no fabric left, there's just my own stitches. So because the weather changed and we're pretty much in summer weather now, I realised I've only got 2 summer tops in my wardrobe. So, 2 short sleeve tops. Like even today, this t-shirt, it's a long sleeve t-shirt I've pushed up. But yeah, I've got 2 summer tops. And that's it. It's just not enough. Yeah, I know there may be people in the world who don't have a summer top at all. Please don't trolls. Don't any of you start having a go at me. I live, the society I live in, 2 tops is not enough because, if I'm out in the garden, I'm getting sweaty and dirty, and I don't mind being sweaty and dirty, I don't care. But maybe after, like, when I come home, I'll take that top off and I'll hang it out to air, and I'll get a second day's wear out of it. But getting a third day's wear out of a top that's been sweated into, that's got soil all over it, it's like, I want my friends to hug me when I see them in the street. I don't want them to go, whoa, Vivi, you stink. So yeah, I thought, I need some more tops. Now the thing is, whenever I go around the charity shops, I always keep an eye out for tops. I'm always on the lookout for tops. I've just not seen anything in all these last few months. So I've made the decision that not only was I going to get my vests today, I would get a couple of tops, hopefully, and maybe even a dress. I love wearing dresses. And if not a dress, then maybe 3 tops, because if I've got 5 summer tops and I do my laundry every 10 days, that means 4 tops can do me for 10 days. They go in the wash and I've got 1 top left to put on wash day. Yay! Anyway, so yeah, I was kind of like, oh, I'm going to get vests and some summer tops. And then I suddenly thought, you know what, while I'm at M&S, God, it's the most dreaded shopping. All the women watching, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about now, don't you? Yeah. I decided while I'm in M&S, I really need some new bras. Really, really. Even my bras were in a worse state than my vests, really. And I was kind of down to 2, and 2 bras is not enough either. So I thought, you know what, bite the bullet while I'm there. And the thing is, because I've got big boobs, and, it's just life, that's how it is. And the great thing about the M&S I was going to, or at least this is what I thought, is the demographic of my area. Let's just say we are very curvy in my area. We've got a massive black community. We're about half and half in my area, about half white, half black. And it's one of the reasons I love living here, is because we're such a mixed community, such diverse kind of, cultural influences. I love it. And because of that, and I know because all my black friends are the same, it's not true of every black person, of course it's not, before anyone has a go at me. But all my black friends, they're like me. They've got big boobs and big backsides. We're curvy, we're gorgeous, we're lush babes. Funnily enough, at work, where I used to work, it was a night shift one night. It always happens on a night shift, doesn't it? I don't know, we were kind of flagging it. It's at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're really starting to flag. We were all in the IV room, all making up trays of medicines, and just like you could feel just the atmosphere energy was down, and just mood was getting a bit down. So I decided, obviously, while we're all in there, we should have a twerking contest. Who's the best twerker amongst us? Lifts everyone's spirits. And I happened to be on shift that night with 2 of my colleagues, 2 of my friends who were both black, and on that night they said, Vivi, are you a little bit black? Have you got some black blood in you? Because your backside you've got a black girl's backside. I took that as a massive compliment. So yeah, curvy. So anyway, because of that, because that's my area, I was thinking the M&S I'm going to, they're going to kind of cater to all of us curvy girls. So yeah, so that was the plan. Yay! So it's going to be a Ronnie Corbett session today. It's going to be like all those buses, but we'll get there. So I jump off the bus, gorgeous sunshine. And I decided, like I said, I got off at the earliest bus stop because I just wanted to walk through. Because it's Saturday, it's market day. I mean, they have market stalls there most days, but Saturdays there when all the market stalls are there. It was packed, jam-packed with people. For the most part, it's sort of a pedestrianised section, so where all the stalls are. Yeah, it was heaving, but I love it. I love that hustle and bustle. I love that. It's just vibrating with life. I don't know if I'd like it every single Saturday if I was trying to do my shopping, but once in a while. My attitude going today was, I haven't been out of my hood for ages, apart from obviously going to my sister, but outside of my hood but still within London, it's been since before Christmas maybe. So I had a flask of water with me, I took an apple with me. My attitude was, apart from rushing to get those 3 buses within the hour, from the point I step off the bus, I am going to go slow. I'm going to look, see, hear, smell, just enjoy it, just soak up the atmosphere. Be on holiday for a couple of hours, you know? So yeah, now that part of the market, it's mostly, it's the fish stalls. I don't like the fish stalls. I don't like their little eyeballs looking at me. But they're masses of vegetable stalls, some specialising in different types of things, others, you know, very general. You can tell who's got the best produce because they've got the longest queue. I mean, some of the queues are massive, so I think they must have good quality stuff if people are prepared to queue for so long. Everybody, men and women, little kids, everyone's there with their granny trolley. Yay! Granny trolleys are brilliant. The granny trolleys bashing as we're all trying to, you know, most people are trying to either walk this way or this way, but some people are trying to come across and go across the road to the other shops over there. It's kind of like it's just a glorious chaos of humanity. I love it. Anyway, so before I went into M&S, I thought there's 4 little charity shops up there. So I thought, let's go into all the charity shops first, see if I can find any summer tops, because if I can get them in a charity shop, brilliant. So I went and had a browse. No, nothing. Yeah, just nothing. So it's like, okay, it's time for M&S. And by the time I got to M&S, I was dying for a wee. Fortunately, they have lavatories in there. Always know where your lavatories are when you go. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. I'm going to do a low spend thing on holidays and days out. But yeah, knowing where your lavies are. So then I thought, yeah, I'm going to start with my shopping. Now, I decided I would leave the bra shopping till last because I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Oh, it's all the faffing and the trying on and it's that thing of, I think when bras come out of the factory, the straps are set so short. It's like they're set for someone who's got boobs like up here under their blimmin' chin. So you get it off all the hooky bits on the hanger. It's all, and you get it off, and then you've got to play with the straps, let them out, because I'm a tall girl. My boobs aren't up here, you know. Anyway, I thought I'll leave the boob shopping, no, bra shopping. I'll go and look for tops. I was really, really disappointed. I've come away empty-handed. I'll tell you for why. Weirdly, that branch, it's smaller than I remember, quite a bit smaller. The lingerie section, the lingerie section is lingerie. It reminds me of the costermongers. That's the other thing I love about the market, walking through. All you can hear is, what? You go to your pan, you Hollywood. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm going to come to your store. You can hear it even when you're in M&S. You can hear the costermongers. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Anyway, digressing. Yeah, the lingerie department, lingerie department is massive, and it's, I would say the lingerie department is probably as big as all the other departments put together. So off I go to look at tops. And I did buy a couple of things, not tops, but when I actually went to pay, I mentioned it to the lady who served me, and I mentioned this because I said, I don't think this is meant to be like this, surely. Pretty much every row, there wasn't a lot of selection there, but everything I went to look at, they were in sizes 8, 10 and 12. No other sizes. So I had to write this down because I didn't know them offhand. I checked it when I came home. So for those of you in America, those sizes equate to your 4, 6 and 8. So yeah, 8, 10 and 12. They're quite small sizes. I mean, most of my life I was a 12, occasionally a 10 when I was too thin, but mostly a 12, partly because of my curves. But they are quite, when you consider the average British woman, I checked this on the computer when I got in as well, because I thought, surely I'm not imagining this and misremembering. The average British woman is a size 16, which in America, that's a size 12. So our average size in the UK is 16. 22% of women in the UK are a size 16. In other words, of all the dress sizes, of all the women up and down the land, more of them are wearing a size 16 than any other size. So to go into this shop that is in the middle of an area where there are a lot of big women, where big is a good sign. This is a sign of of wealth, of whatever, I'm talking culturally. To only have sizes 8s, 10s and 12s, really, really disappointing. So nothing. Went and looked at dresses, the same, nothing. And they even had, some of the dresses that were in a size 6. And it's like, I mean, that's almost like a child size, isn't it? That would be in America a size 2. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm not going to get a cob on. I'm not going to get upset because I'm having a nice jolly. I'm out for a jolly. I'm not going to let it bother me. I'll just make do with whatever I've got indoors. It's one of those things I dearly wish I had more time, because if I had spare time, I'd start dressmaking again, because that's the best way around the problem of sizing, isn't it? If you're too tall that you can never get trousers long enough or shirts long enough, make your own clothes. I don't have time. Anyway, so then I thought I'm going to go do my bra shopping. Get me vests, do my bra shopping. Massive department. So I walk in, I'm going past rows and rows, and they're all really pretty, such beautiful items. There was one, it was gorgeous, it was white, but it had almost lemon meringue lemon embroidery all over it, little flowers, so pretty. Turquoise, baby blue, deep navy blue, baby pink, cerise, red, purple, green, emerald green, as well as the usual black, white and nude. What have I got on? I've got on nude, gorgeous, every style imaginable, plunge, balconette, padded, uplift, push down, minimise, maximise, whatever, just gorgeousness all around me. So I started looking, and I was like, they're all really small. What is going on in this branch? And then I saw a member of staff, and I said, excuse me, do you have larger cup sizes? Because these are all like for little bitty titties. I've got big ones. And she went, oh yeah, they're at the far side. She said, you'll see, it's far side. So I go through myriad gorgeous, really pretty underwear. I'm going. I get right to the far side of the shop, and it says on the top there's a sign. I'm not going to say what my cup size is, but it's a certain cup size and above in that corner. So I turn the corner, go to this area, and suddenly it's like the world has been devoid of colour. All the colour has gone. They were all black, white or nude. You know, that caramelly, beigey colour. Black, white or nude. No colours. There's no lacy bits anywhere. There's no prettiness. There's no embroidery. There's nothing. This is like, yeah. It just makes me really sad. Like, you know, just because I'm big doesn't mean I don't want to be pretty. And listen, I don't even, you know, it's not like anyone else is going to see me under crackers because there's no one else here. But I know what's underneath, and I like having pretty undies. You know what, and if I get run over, I want to make sure I've got nice undies on, don't I? You've always got to have clean undies on in case you get run over. Anyway, yeah, so just really boring stuff, just really, really dull, uninspiring, like just perfunctory does the job. So I grabbed a couple in the size I thought I was. Last night I measured myself just to check, and you know how you measure, you measure underneath and then over the top to work out your cup size. I did all that because I didn't want to be faffing trying to measure myself in the shop. I'd gone prepared. So I cut off a couple of different styles. I mean, there really wasn't much to choose from. Honestly, it was like a row of shelves about the length of my living room here. It's shorter even for the big boobs, whereas this huge rest of the shop for little and medium boobs. Anyway, picked off a couple, went to the changing room. Also, what was really annoying was the changing room was right back to the front of the shop. And it's like, and I said this as well to the lass who served me, I said, surely the changing room, you want to have it near the bra department, because the bras are the one thing you always try on. You know, with dress sizes, you get used to a shop's sizing, don't you? So when I bought the thermals, I bought them for the size that I am, and they fitted exactly for that size. Some shops you need to go up a size or down a size, but with bras, I mean, it doesn't matter. You always have to try on every single bra, and that's why I hate it, and that's why I know all my friends hate it too. You can never just go into a shop and grab one off the shelf and buy it. You know, let's say it's a 32D. You could get a 32D in 6 different styles, all from the same shop, and none of them would fit, or one would fit. Anyway, so I marched all the way over to the other side of this shop with, I think I'd got 3 in my hand at that stage to go and try on. Do the strip in the changing room. Such a faff. Anyway, tried them all, and none of them were, they were all a bit too big. So I thought, okay, right, well, my underband, I know my band size, but it was the cup size. Anyway, so I thought, fine, I'll go back. Trudging, get dressed again, trudge back to the shop. I'm going along, I've got my glasses on, and I need to take my glasses off to look at the sizing. When I take my glasses off, I always put them, you know, my little leather satchel bag that I always have crossbody. I always put my glasses in there when I'm out and about. My bag! I haven't got my bag! Oh my God, I've left my bag in the changing room. Panic, panic, panic. Horrible sensation. Just this utter sinking sensation. Because in my bag, I mean, it's not even about money, but in my bag is my wallet with all my cards. My phone, that's the really important thing, with phone numbers in that I don't have written down anywhere else. They're now written down as soon as I got home. Phone number. My house keys, my front door keys, just utter panic and sick feeling. And I'm there, so I've got my granny trolley, my walking stick, and I'm hobbling, trying to hobble quickly to the far side of the shop, go in the changing rooms. There's only 3. Number 1 is empty, number 2 is empty. I was in number 3. Number 3, the door's shut. I thought, God, someone's in there. They're already rifling through my bag. I banged on the door, panicking, bang, 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 bang. And I heard this little voice say, yeah? I said, I'm really sorry to trouble you. I've left my bag in there. Please tell me my bag's in there. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, and this lass, she half opened the door, and she's kind of stood in her undercrack. And she was like, don't worry, it's still here. she handed it to me and I was like, oh my goodness, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Put it on, immediately I kind of checked the contents, it was all there. That's how much I hate bra shopping. Bra shopping makes you leave your bag in a changing. I have never in my entire life left my bag anywhere, like on a bus or in a changing room or under a pub table. I have never left my handbag unattended anywhere ever in my entire life. That's another thing I told the lass at the checkout. I was in a don't worry, there was not a queue. I wouldn't gab if there was a massive queue. But and I was mentioning their lack of range of sizes in the shop. But I said, but you know what, ultimately today is a great day. So I said, because I got my handbag back and all the contents were in it still. I don't care. I don't care that I didn't get a top. I got my handbag back. Anyway, so I came out with I got myself my vests and I got myself my bras. Really boring, but it's that kind of, it's like, oh, I'm stocked up again. I don't need to do that for another 5 years. It's brilliant. And then when I came out, oh my God, just sunshine, the vibrancy of the market, all the noises. So there's a little area, there's some benches. So I just went and sat on one of the benches, sat down, had my apple, just watching people coming and going. I was laughing at, I was near a bag stall and there was a woman and she was trying to get what we call a bum bag fanny pack in America, which makes every Brit laugh their heads off. Fanny pack. Because fanny's a bit rude in the UK. It's quite, in fact, it's very rude. Anyway, so yeah, she was trying to get a bum bag and the guy was trying to fit her, and it turned out, because I was sort of half hearing their conversations, well, she's originally Ghanaian, because she mentioned Ghana. Anyway, so he's trying to do that, and then he suddenly, but it was all jokey and in good humour, he said, you know, why am I doing this? It should be your husband touching you. I'm not touching you. And he's looking at the husband going, I'm not touching your wife. Honest, I'm not touching your wife. So they were having anyway, it doesn't translate. You have to be there. But yeah, so just kind of watching them doing that, and they were all giggling and just watching people going by, kids on scooters, and it was lovely, 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 lovely. Sunshine, that's what makes the difference, isn't it? So I sat there for about 20 minutes. I just thought, why, I have got things to do. I've got things to do when I get back home. I've got things to do on my own high street, but I really just don't want to hurry. It's that thing of, like I said a few minutes ago, when you're on holiday, you don't hurry, do you? If you're on holiday and you go to a cafe for a coffee or tea or a beer or something, you take an hour to drink a cup of tea or to drink a pint or have a glass of wine, don't you? So I think there's a lesson in that for all of us, isn't there? That every now and again, even if it's an ordinary day and you're not on holiday, just have that slight change of mindset and say, you know what, instead of rushing to get the bus home, to rush to get on with everything else in my day, just sit back for 20 minutes, eat your apple, feel the sunshine on your face, and giggle at the goings on in the market. Oh, loved it. Was that it? Is that all I did? It felt like, anyway, yeah, so all in all, I would say a very productive trip. The main thing was going to B&Q. Got back here, back to my own neighbourhood, got all my bits and pieces done that I needed to do down here. I've spent about an hour this afternoon writing a couple of letters, handwriting, which is so lovely. It's so lovely to do. And then, yeah, I've just been, the day has disappeared. The day has disappeared, and it's disappearing even more quickly. So what's next on the agenda? And now I'm going to go and, I'm going to go and doing some, I can't speak, I'm going to get on with some cooking. I think I was thinking about cracking into one of my big squash, but no, because I'll be up all night cooking if I do that, because I'm just thinking at the clock, it's gone 7. It's gone 7 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, no, I'm just going to cook something simple for tonight and I'll leave the squash for another day. The plan is, because it's a bank holiday weekend in the UK, for the rest of, although by the time you see this, the bank holiday will be over, I think the rest of this weekend there's going to be a combination of gardening, quite boring stuff, getting another couple of beds ready, I really, actually I might carve out one of these. I really want to do a massive load of batch cooking, because the days when I'm in the garden, I'm loving it, but it's physically, it kills me, it does me in. So I think just for the sake of being able to come home and just warm something up rather than cook from scratch. I think cooking from scratch after a plot day that's no longer doable. But you know what? It's like everything in life, isn't it? There's ways around it, you adapt and what have you. So yeah, a bank holiday weekend of, oh, I've just remembered something actually. I'll do a text message and just see. Yeah, so it's going to be gardening and cooking. The reason I was saying that is because the last couple of times in the garden it has been really hot, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and loads of us keep saying, you know, this is the perfect day for a cold beer, and we haven't done it. So I'm losing track of time. Yesterday or the day before, I'll do some texting in a minute. We were all joking about it again, and I said, well look, it's a bank holiday weekend, why don't we do it on Sunday? Why don't we all bring beer down on Sunday? So I think that's what I'll do now. I'll put out a couple of texts and see if people are up for it, and if they are, tomorrow will be a gardening all day, and then finish the session with a couple of cold beers with friends, just kick back and chat. Monday, cooking. Tuesday, back to work. Yay, I love a plan. Happy days. Make the most of it. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That, you know, just make the most of even the littlest thing that might seem insignificant, but yeah, change of mindset. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Occasionally make your day, try to make it feel like a holiday day. I'm going to sleep well tonight, I think. Right, on that note, I'm going to love you all and leave you all until next time. Almost certainly the next one will be back in the garden. Yeah, because let's get ready to do a tour for the beginning of June. See what I managed to do in the month of May to the garden. Yay, can't wait to show you. Until then though, please look after yourselves, look after each other, look after your neighbours. Cheerio.